As if fate had come to remove us from the trash-filled streets and smog of Kolkata, our situation changed suddenly and under strange circumstances. It was the night before the wedding, and George and I had just finished purchasing the last of our garments for the week of celebrations. When we arrived near the hotel of the groom's family, I was excited to meet the people that George had spoken so fondly of from his previous visit to India. The taxi dropped us in the vicinity of the hotel, but we were having trouble finding the exact location. A tall man met us in an alleyway and asked where we were going and if he could help us find our way. We told him the place what we were looking for, and he said that he could help us find our way. He said that we should follow him. He could take us to the hotel. We were reluctant and would not go with him. We were waiting for the groom's family to meet us. The man was confused because we would not take his happily offered help, but we were afraid that we would be led astray and potentially robbed or injured. We thanked him for his help and remained standing on the street waiting on our friends. Soon they came and took us to the hotel that the tall stranger had originally planned on taking us to. In all honesty, he was likely trying to help us and keep us safe in the dark alleyways where he had found us, but we were uncertain as to whether his motives could be trusted. Soon we were seated in a room with 10 to 15 of the groom's family members. Few could speak English well, and we sat quietly listening to conversations that we could not comprehend. Dinner was ordered, and around this time George was left with several others to another hotel room. I was feeling quite sick at this point. A throbbing headache was slowly turning my stomach against me, and I tried telling the women sitting with me that I could not eat the food they were offering me. There was a strange change in the atmosphere of the room. The groom's mother looked strangely upset, and the family holy man assured me that George and I could stay with him for free if need be. I could not understand why he was saying this. The groom's father came to the room and told me it was time for me to go. I got up and began walking down the hall, where I met George, who was in a fit of tears. I asked why he was crying, and he only told me we should go. I asked him again and again why he was crying. Looking into the faces of the groom's father and uncle, George eventually explained that the bride's father had been at the hotel earlier in the evening and had told the groom's family that George and I must not attend the wedding, otherwise the ceremony would not take place. He said that he had performed a background check on George and that because of his record, he would not allow us to attend the wedding. I assured the groom's family that George had committed no offense and that this accusation was uncalled for. The groom's family assured us that they knew that George was a good and kind person, and they did not believe these assertions, but they must obey the father of the bride. I was furious and very ill at this point. I told them that they should not associate with people that make such false accusations. They said they had no choice. The relationship was very new and they must do as the bride's father requested. The bride's father said we must leave Kolkata the following day. The groom's family urged us to go somewhere where the bride's family did not have connections. Being an authority within the CBI, we were not certain what power this man could have over us. The phone that our friends had lent us was taken away, and our friend's father stood with us in the street, waiting for a taxi that would take us back to the apartment to pack. Oh, this is when my stomach finally took a turn for the worse, and I began vomiting into the trash-filled gutters on the side of the road. I could not sleep that night, given my stomach complaint. In the morning, we left the apartment with all our fancy wedding clothes tied up in bulky bags and got on a taxi to Howrah train station, hoping to get on the next train out of Kolkata. The man at the queries booth told us that we must take a ferry across the river and purchase tickets at a special facility specifically for foreigners. We were unsure if we could trust this information. We decided to get a hotel room for the night and spend some time and thought on deciding where we should go and how we should get there. At the time, we had no working phone, but soon we organized this at one of the small shops along the road. I spent most of the day in bed. I had stopped vomiting, but the headache continued. We decided to fly to the northeast, Meghalaya, to stay in a small village near the root bridges. The next morning, we got a taxi to the courier to send our useless wedding clothes to Australia. I booked a flight on the way to the airport. We flew in a very small plane that showed signs of age and wear.